Good morning, Monday morning, day 12, it's 8:30. I'm just about to go have a golf lesson, which I'm thankful I booked really early. It's predicted to be the hottest day of the year today, about 31 degrees here in the UK, which for us, if you're, not from the UK, 31 degrees is really warm. We probably only hit this temperature 2 or 3 times a year. So it's 8:34 and it's 23 degrees. That means it's going to be a scorcher. Normally we don't hit them temperatures until later on in the day. So to wake up at 8:30 to 23 degrees, it's going to be a warm one. So I'm going to go quickly have this golf lesson and then get back. Then I will be sat in my office all day, which I am not looking forward to. I've got no air conditioning. I haven't even got a fan in there. And when the computer's on and the camera's on and the lights are on, it's probably going to get to about 35 degrees. So I am not looking forward to this. But I'm going to bring you along for the journey and I'm going to show you a lot more on-page stuff today. Today will be a lot of planning. So we're going to plan the pages and the posts that we're going to be renewing, refreshing, updating. So today will be a little bit of planning. I'll show you the tracker I use and which articles I'm going to do, and then we'll follow along with the journey on that. So yeah, join me later on in the afternoon after I've had my golf lesson, and let's fingers crossed my office doesn't get too warm. I'll see you all very soon. Okay, so it's about 10:45 now, back in my greenhouse. The temperature is definitely upping now. It's probably about 31 degrees in here. So I'm going to jump on the computer now. I'm going to show you how we're going to plan for refreshing my content. I've been tracking my keywords on a spreadsheet, but if you've not done the same, I'll show you some other methods that you can use and a free, simple way of actually keeping track of the content that we're going to update. And I'll also go into a little bit of detail of maybe what's wrong with one article, so you can see the kind of thing that I'm actually looking for when I'm looking at my on-page SEO. Now, over the next few days, we might get a little bit more technical. We might dive deeper into some of the more technical SEO side of things like schema markup. But for today, it's all about planning. I need to get a list of about 50 articles ready for myself, my virtual assistant, or my writers to update, refresh, and see if we can capture that low-hanging fruit for articles we know are ranking. We know Google loved them before and they have dropped down for whatever reason. We need to get them back up. It's a quick win. It's that low-hanging fruit that we can all go after, and it's the quickest way to kind of move the needle on your website for traffic and revenue. So let's go on the computer now. Okay, so the first thing we're going to want to do is keep a track of the articles that we're upgrading and rewriting or refreshing. And here's the spreadsheet that I'm going to be using. So this is a spreadsheet I've created. If you want this spreadsheet, I will leave a link in the description. It's what I use for all my virtual assistants use this, and all my writers do. And it's where we track what we've actually published, where we've published it, who published it, how many words, etc. So this is kind of in alphabetical order. So yeah, so this is where we're going to track it, and all I'm going to simply do is when we find an article that I want to be upgraded, I'll just maybe highlight it, and we'll just maybe fill that in yellow or something, just to say that that's the one we're going to work on. So if you haven't got a spreadsheet already, you can use a tool like Screaming Frog. This is a tool that will actually pull a report from your website. You can see there is a free version here which will show you things like broken links. It will analyze your metadata and your titles. It will tell you if you're missing any H1 headings and things like that. The free version crawls up to 500 URLs, so usually it's okay for most people's size of website. If your website is bigger than that, you will need to move on to the paid version, where you can see it's unlimited, and it can tell things like if your content is almost the same as something else on there, so you might have a duplicate content issue, it will flag that up for you. So it's a really good tool. Feel free to go look. I'm not an affiliate or anything like that for it. I just thought I'd mention it. It is a tool that I've used in the past. Now, to track the rankings, there's 2 places you can use. The one I've been using at the moment is SERP Robot, basically because it's very cheap. I have quite a lot of keywords across my entire portfolio, and I think I pay about $15 a month, something like that. But for one website, you can pretty much get away with about $5 a month, and it will do something like this. You can see here, these are all the articles that are on page 1 at the moment. It also tells you the best position it's ever been at, and it tells you where its first position was, and then it'll tell you the lowest volume it ever gets, search volume wise, so the keyword that is searched, and then a global volume. So local volume there, 20 searches a month, but globally it's searched over 480 times per month. Usually a lot more than that. It's a very, very rough estimate, but it just gives you an idea of if that post has traffic. And then obviously the most obvious place you can go to is your Google Analytics, and you can see the traffic on here. So again, this is a great place to go. So you could, for instance, go down, right down to the bottom, and you could say, okay, this article here, apologies I've had to blank some of these out, but I am going to sell this website very soon, and I don't want to give away every keyword for the new owner. You can see here this one gets 369 visits. I think this is set to maybe last 60 days. Yeah, I think it's set over the last 60 days. So 369 views in the last 60 days. So the average user looks at 1.5 pages, which is absolutely fine. And you can see there they stay on page just less than a minute. So if people aren't staying on your article for longer than a minute, there's usually an issue. Either it's a very short piece of content or they're just not liking it. I'd rather see these metrics here: 2 minutes 11, 1 minute 29, 1 minute 53, 1 minute 17. They're better metrics. So this would give me an idea that there's something wrong with this article. Again, you would have to see when it was published. If it was only published, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks ago, I would leave it. But if this has been published now for 2 or 3 months and we're only getting 369 page views and they're only staying on page less than a minute, that's something I would consider to actually refresh or have a look at and see why it's underperforming. And again, if we go back to Search Robot, so you can see all my rankings here. That's this column I'm highlighting there where it says 2, so that's position 2. I would scroll all the way down and look for articles for these quick wins that's here. So all these here are position 4. Now, if you look in the next column here, there's lots of 1s there. So these articles all used to be on page 1, but are now on page 4. So I would be taking a closer look at this article, and you can see here it entered the Search Spark in June last year, position 1, dropped to position 2, went back up to position 1, dropped down to position 3, went all the way down to position 7, and it's now climbing back up. So clearly Google does like this because it has been at position 1 and 2, but we're now sitting at position 4, so something is wrong. Either the content needs updating, like I say, it was published back in June, so over a year old is this content, and maybe Google's looking at this and thinking, well, he's not touched that post in a while, so he doesn't care for it, well, why should I? And if you want to follow along with this one, I will show you this one. The actual keyword, if we open it up in SERPs, we can see 1, 2, 3, 4. We are in position 4. So this is rice hulls versus perlite. Which one is better? So if we click on this article here, so you can see we have an intro, we have a bolded answer paragraph, we have a H2 heading, we have an image, we have a nice little infographics there with some pros and cons. We have some quotes there. We have a product there. Disadvantages. Cost and availability. So I've already spotted something. I'll tell you what it is in a moment. Again, another product. These are all ezoic ads. Disadvantages. Again, another infographic. Again, another product. Best overall, you might also like. So we've got that best overall. Okay, so I'll tell you what I've spotted. So Google sometimes isn't as smart as we all believe. So we've got here rice hulls versus perlite. Which one is better? That's showing Google quite clearly that we are telling people which one of those is better. The only thing it doesn't say is better for what. So it's not actually clear why we are testing it. So that may be an indication to Google that there's a little bit of uncertainty of what we're actually trying to rank for. Then you can see here, we just have these words, rice hulls, that's better, what they do for your plants. But again, there's no word in there, what they do for your plants. What does? Well, if I just said that to you, if I said, hey, what they do for your plants, you'd go, sorry, what? Now, if it said rice hulls, what they do for your plants, or rice hulls, what the benefits are, then you know we're talking about rice hulls and the benefits. It doesn't say that in the heading. Another one down here I noticed, there you go, disadvantages. Again, you're hoping Google knows the context. You're hoping Google knows that this article is about rice hulls versus perlite. But why take the risk? Why not put the disadvantages of using rice hulls? Then we clearly are showing a search intent H2 heading. For instance, somebody may be typing, are there any disadvantages to using rice hulls? And this H2 heading will not rank for that because it's not clear enough that it is the disadvantages to using rice hulls. We could literally take this part here that I've bolded, add it into here, and it would be a much better H2. I'm liking these infographics here, but we've got two that look the same, so it's not a great user experience. So maybe we'll change one of them or take one of those out. Again, best overall, you know, that isn't a seller. That's really not selling one product. You see perlite there. You know, we're not really coming to a firm conclusion and selling it to the reader. So again, we could definitely put a better conclusion in there, or a roundup, a wrap up, however you want to word it. And then the rest is okay. We've got the author box down at the bottom. That's good. So yeah, definitely work to be done on that. The work that needs to be done on that, I don't think it will take much longer than 30 minutes. I think also I could possibly do a video for this where I just stand there and just basically say, if you're thinking about using rice hulls versus perlite, there's some advantages and disadvantages to both, but one for me comes out top, and it is perlite. And there you go. I think we could do a video that's literally 30-40 seconds, and it would clearly give the reader a better experience, a clearer, defined answer, and I think Google will like that as well. So that's it. I'll catch you later on. Probably going to be about 4 or 5 o'clock now. Like I say, I won't film this, quite boring, and I'll show you later on in the day what I've got up to. So it's about 5:30 now. I'm going to wrap up for today. I managed to get my spreadsheet ready. I have 25 articles on there that I want to work on first. Didn't manage to do 50. I did 25. That's my printer. Give it a second. There we go. I managed to get 25 done basically because I was trying to do two things at once. And with the help of my son, we've been creating some banners to go on the pages. So what I want is some very targeted t-shirt banners that have designs in for particular pages. So let's say we had a page about Paris and visiting the Eiffel Tower. Then I'd want images and the banner to represent Paris so that I can insert that banner onto the pages that are to do with France or Paris or traveling to Europe, and then people will come onto that page and they will see a banner that says t-shirts in Paris, and then they can click that and go over to our e-commerce page. So I hope that makes sense. So yeah, we're going to create about a dozen banners to go inside the articles. They look very similar to like ads, like a banner ad at the top of every page. And like I say, hopefully when they're on a particular piece of content that is relevant to the topic, so the banners will match the topic that they're reading. So hopefully if they see these lovely t-shirts with the Eiffel Tower on in a banner that says shop now, 20% off, they'll click that, go to the e-commerce page, and they will see the t-shirts there that we designed. So I've been doing that. So I managed to get 25 keywords or articles that I really think could easily pop back up to positions 1 or 2. The majority of them were just ones that's been around for about a year and a half, and they were either poorly written and or outdated. It was kind of before I got my virtual assistant and my editor, who does a really good job now. But I think a year and a half to 2 years ago, these articles slipped through the net and they're quite poor quality, to be honest. So 25 of those, I'm going to spend the next few weeks doing that. I'll personally do the updates, I think, to them, and then we'll see how they rank. The other thing I said yesterday I'd show you is I got another link through from Linkify, which is the company that I'm testing Haro links out. I'll leave an affiliate link in the description if you want to check their service out. You get 20% off your first order. It is not cheap, let me warn you. So you might be shocked when you see the price, but you'll see the links that are coming through. So the latest one we've had here is from menshealth.com, which is a DA87, and it gets over 16 million visitors to the website per month. So it's a big, big publication, and we've managed to get a do follow link on that. I know it says men's health, but it covers travel, well-being, lifestyle, clothes, fashion. It covers everything. So travel is inside that website, so it's a relevant backlink. And like I say, DA87 is pretty good. So far I've had a DA79, a DA92 no follow link, and a DA87. So I've got 3 more links to come back from them, and hopefully a few more free no follow ones, and then I'll judge the overall service. But like I say, if you want to try them out before I give my recommendation, you can do. There's a link in the description. So that's about it for now. I'm going to wrap it up. I need to get our tea on, or evening meal, or I don't know what you call it from wherever you live, but here we call it tea, not a cup of tea. Tea you eat. I know it's, us British are very confusing, but yeah, I'm about to make tea, which is about 6 to 7 p.m. in the UK when we eat our evening meal, which is called tea. You get the point, you get the point. It's too hot in here, I've got to get out. It's about 33 degrees now. I am absolutely roasting, so I'm off. I will see you all in day 13 tomorrow. Thanks for watching, thanks for following along on this Day in the Life series. Hope you're enjoying it. Leave a comment if you are, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye for now.